Story 1. All the jokes about our size. I am a mental health clinician, and I see male clients every day who are insecure about themselves. Seeing memes and jokes constantly about small men and big men to mock a man as disappointing or attractive based on size is nerve-wracking. It is total body shaming, no question about it, but men are not protected from it by a cultural agreement that this kind of body shaming is unacceptable. We are fair game. Men who make a comment about a woman's weight will, deservedly, receive immediate censure, but jokes about men's bodies get laughter. See an obnoxious truck. What is the first joke anyone makes about the man driving it? There are countless other examples. Story 2. All my friends settled down in the past year or two, and I am choosing a very different path. I do not relate to them much now. Story 3. The flashbacks I get from the years I was sexually assaulted as a kid. But men cannot get sexually assaulted in our culture, it feels like, so I just never talk about it in real life. Whenever I brought it up to people, I was either dismissed or laughed at. Story 4. I told a woman I was not interested in her, and she started stalking me and putting a tracking device on my car. It has been very difficult. Story 5. My mental health is genuinely in hell. I can't talk to my fiancé, mother, or grandparents because nobody really hears me. I guess I just want to be seen. Story 6. Being a bisexual man is a special kind of challenge. Many straight people, including my parents, would be uncomfortable with that, and some in the LGBTQ community doubt my bisexuality since I have only had one relationship, and it is with a woman. People want to categorize me as either straight or gay, but I am neither. Even Pride Month does not fully acknowledge the challenges faced by bisexual men. Story 7. The fact that almost 90% of the difficulties in my life over the past 6 years have been caused by women in my family, one of whom I am no longer connected to, doing whatever they want and then expecting the men to deal with it or fix everything, has resulted in all the problems falling on me. However, when I try to fix the problem or hold anyone accountable, I am labeled as antisocial, hateful, and tyrannical. Now, no one listens to me. They only complain, even when I was right and everything I predicted happened. But I am not allowed to talk about it because that is considered selfish. Story 8. I am a 32-year-old male. My fiancé ended our relationship without explanation in January. My credit is very poor, so I cannot rent an apartment or buy a house. I have been living with my parents at my childhood home for 6 months, and I am feeling very frustrated trying to find my own place again. If my parents did not live in town, I would have to quit my job and move back home or live in my car. Story 9. I'm having some weight issues right now. I'm hovering around 166 to 170 pounds at 5 feet 9.5 inches. And honestly, it's difficult. I used to weigh 290 pounds, so the idea of going back scares me. Lately, I've been hungry all the time, and it's not like I'm stressed or depressed, which used to be my triggers for overeating. I'm just hungry. I really don't want to return to where I was. For some reason, I have been getting many ads for weight loss injections, and I am close to trying some. I just don't want to be at that weight again. Story 10. My mother-in-law has a lot of ideas about how to fix things that are not urgent. She will bother people about things she wants changed. For example, my son and I rearranged the furniture in our living room while she stood staring at us and supervising. It was almost 2 hours past her bedtime, and I was the one who initially wanted to fix it. It is my house. I have 3 children with my wife and do not need someone hovering over me while I rearrange furniture in my living room. If I say anything, I am considered negative or condescending because I have an opinion about the respect I deserve. My wife often suggests that my feelings or opinions are unreasonable. Story 11. How I basically have no friends left to hang out with. My 2 best friends moved to another country, and the other 5 friends and I have stopped talking to each other for one reason or another over the years. Story 12. My wife has borderline personality disorder, and it feels like I am with a sociopath. It makes me wish I were dead. I do not make enough money to leave her, and I would have no childcare if I did. I am stuck. Story 13. A growing branch of feminism is becoming openly sexist and limiting the effectiveness of genuine feminists. However, only other women can call them out for it. Story 14. Fear of dying alone. Everyone tells me it is ridiculous. but I have been single for years now. If I talk about it as a legitimate fear, it often gets dismissed or seen as dramatizing or being hyperbolic. Story 15. I can't help but feel like everyone else is unaware of their behavior. I don't know if that is just me being unaware or everyone else being unaware of their own behavior. Story 16. Parents getting old. The future remains rather unknown, both in general and personally. Friends are decent, but nothing beyond a good time. Realizing I'm probably more likely to be a bachelor by choice than to have any semblance of a family in this troubled world. But the job is not finished. Story 17. I work a good job and have personal and family responsibilities and obligations that I meet. I am emotionally available to my partner and children. However, I am a functioning recovering addict on a lonely, difficult journey without allowing my support system to help me. I am too proud to admit my struggles and ask for help. Story 18. I am terrible in bed. Absolutely terrible. I have no idea what I am doing wrong or how to do it right. The few times I have casually brought it up in conversation with friends, I just get laughed at. I have not yet met a woman willing to tell me what they like. Story 19. I can never tell my mother how difficult my life is. I regret much of my life and wish I had been born into a different situation. My mother loves me and she tried her best as a widow. However, I experienced pain throughout my childhood, teenage years, and into early adulthood. Story 20. Emotional punching bag for my partner. I am just here to pay for everything so she does not have to work or do the practical things she does not want to do. At the same time, she complains about me to anyone who will listen. We have one last family holiday, and then I am ending the relationship. She can take her negativity about herself and place it on someone else. Story 21. Overwhelmed by being a father to young children. I want to be supportive and participate, but they often exhaust my patience. I lack a third place and feel guilty making time to hang out with friends. I cannot complain to my wife because she is a better parent by most measures, plans our entire family schedule, and still makes time for many personal social activities. I tried to explain that I feel this way and how it is manifesting itself as anxiety, depression, listlessness, and temper. I feel like a selfish idiot when I try to express it. Story 22. Having to leave the house I have lived in for 25 years. My family does not care about moving. I am the only one who is upset. Story 23. Everything costs money. I make a reasonable income, and a few years ago I would be living comfortably, as the old-timers used to say. Today, the money is not contributing much to improving my life. Story 24. I fell too far into a sedentary lifestyle, and now I am borderline diabetic. I'm hesitant to seek medical help, so my only hope is continuing to run a few miles a day like I did in my previous job. I have no problem with that, but in the meantime, I'm struggling to remove sugar from my diet. My mouth no longer produces enough saliva, so I wake up with dry mouth. I experience random fits of extreme fatigue. However, I want to persevere and tough it out until exercise produces results. I learned that poor diabetes management can result in a coma, and sometimes I wish that coma would take me and I would just die. But that wouldn't be fair to my girlfriend, who is waiting for me to finish my tasks so I can travel and move in with her. Story 25. Being inexperienced in romantic relationships, I am 32 years old and have never had a girlfriend, never had sex, and never really experienced any form of intimacy aside from a few kisses. It seems like I never will. I have heard from women that it is a red flag if someone has never been intimate, and it made me think that something might be wrong with me. Story 26. How soft men are becoming. It is a taboo topic in the mental health era, but men, especially younger men, need thicker skin and to be less sensitive. You are the future protector of your family. Make sure you are ready for that. Story 27. Being men-loving men, I like both genders, but I feel like it is so hard to find a guy who is the same level of men-loving men as me. Not that I have any problem with more feminine guys, but it is just not me, nor what I would like to pursue for a relationship. Dating applications are garbage, and when I make guy friends, they do not expect me to be men-loving men, so I obviously do not attract other men-loving men kind of dudes. But where I lack in romance, I excel in high-quality friendships, so maybe that is a trade-off to be made. Story 28. I am really disappointed because my girlfriend said she often had sex with her ex and casual partners, but she does not want to with me. I am confused about the future at 23. I have never worked or gone to college, and I am stuck with anxiety and depression. Story 29. When I was 6 and my sister was 2, our mother remarried. My stepfather also had 2 children, so it was a Brady Bunch situation. He was also allowing his mother to live with us, and she was supposed to watch over us after school and during all school breaks. She hated my mother and decided to beat me and my sister every day. After 4 years, she was finally kicked out. When I confronted my mother about it as an adult, 25 years ago, she told me she didn't know. She found out when they kicked that woman out of the house. Last weekend, over 40 years later, she said to me, "I need to tell you something. I am sorry. I should have fought harder to kick Macy out." This means she knew the truth the entire time and let it happen for several years. I am spiraling and want to just burn that bridge. But I can't, as she lives with me and has no money. She can't pay her own way and has serious health issues. I told my little sister today what I know, and she is struggling as well. I am trapped and want to just... Well, that's not a solution. Story 30. How many religions of peace have been directly responsible for some of the most cruel and inhumane acts that a human can do to other humans, while simultaneously claiming moral superiority over those who do not share the same beliefs? Then, of course, they cry victim if their acts are called evil. The slaughterers are never the victims. The people they slaughter are. Story 31. 30. Own a home, good job, good things, but no girlfriend, no children, no dates, no companionship or sharing my life with another. Kind of sucks. Story 32. Anything related to negative experiences with groups of people who are different from me. Society often talks about an idealized world where everyone is accepted. Most of the time, things are fine, and I have reached a well-adjusted point where I checked most of the boxes I thought I needed to. As a man, I am expected to tolerate things that others would not have to. It is implied that all issues between cisgender heterosexual men and others are problems we must fix ourselves. When we discuss these issues, we have to do it a certain way, or our concerns are dismissed without a second thought. Even though we simply want things to improve. Not every man has an ideal social life, and it is not easy to fill in the gaps. There are many communities where we could naturally vet ourselves and befriend almost anyone around us. Yet, it takes a long time before we hang out one-on-one with anyone, and some people find that insufficient. I understand that, and online forums might not be the best place for sincere discussion on these matters. It feels like much of the effort to build friendships is on my shoulders. If I do not express myself correctly, all I say could be wasted. It feels like much more is expected of me compared to others. People talk about an ideal society where everyone is accepted, as long as you do not push others away. Yet, people often look for reasons to dislike someone and remain indifferent. Many turn these challenges into a prolonged struggle, like someone depressed who ignores most advice. I just wish people were more understanding, rather than assuming you are either hopelessly depressed or an angry person. Some people simply want to be sincerely listened to and given basic respect. Story 33. My wife's mom living with us is becoming a burden on me. My wife is from Mexico but was supposed to stay with us for a week or 2 for the holidays. It has been 7 months now. She doesn't work, has no hobbies, no income, and literally just sits in our master bedroom, which includes her own bathroom and separate full-size fridge. She just sits there and prays all day and streams live TV or Netflix, which I pay for. My wife also lends her one of our vehicles, which I maintain. We recently spent $500 on new tires and registration. She has already damaged one of the vehicles and left it in neutral, causing it to hit a tree in front of her. She has only worked a total of about 1,000 hours in her entire life and can't even qualify for Social Security. She is a little slow but talks badly to her sisters about my wife, saying how bad of a daughter she was growing up and that my wife has gained weight since she was 18 years old. My wife is 37 now. I don't know, Mexican moms just try to live through their daughters. If the daughter gains weight, the mom gets very depressed. All she seems to care about is physical appearances, even though my wife has done countless things for her. Story 34. An unfair world where men are cancelled because of sexual harassment claims without evidence or before any evidence is presented, and they have not had a chance to explain their side of the story, or no one cares about their thoughts. Story 35. I feel like I'm missing a core part of the human experience since I've never sought a relationship or really felt the desire until this year. I missed many opportunities to date and be intimate in my teens and 20s. I know that might make me less motivated to try once I lose the rest of this weight. I have no idea how to really start when I get there. At least when I move back near my friends, they are willing to help. However, I want to limit the effort. I feel that if I can't find someone within a couple of years, I will not pursue it further. Story 36. I get a case of limerence whenever I meet someone new, and they eventually find out that I am a normal human being with relatively normal emotional regulation. I just get excited for as long as they will let me. If something does happen and we become real, after a few years the limerence wears down and I have to rely on good old-fashioned love. I am not sure if my love is enough for anyone, let alone myself. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.